Hey guys, Kyshira here. Welcome back to my channel. I am super excited for today's video. I say that at the start of every video, but I'm always excited for my videos because I work hard on my notes, okay? Today we are talking about 5 healthy business habits, not 5, 7, excuse me. 7 healthy business habits to start in 2021. So when I started writing my notes, initially my goal was 5 things and then I came up with 7 for y'all. So I have 7 things that I need you all to start doing in your businesses, no matter what industry or niche you are in. So if you want videos like this, you want this good tea and this information, make sure you subscribe to this channel and keep on watching. Okay, so first and foremost, number 1, the first healthy habit I want you to start is having a weekly sales goal. Now, many of you already do this. Congratulations, right? But there's a lot of people who don't. There's a lot of people who only have an annual goal and a monthly goal, and they're stressing themselves. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna make all this money, right? Every single day. First is breaking it down, taking your monthly goal, dividing it by 4, or if there's 5 weeks in a month, 4 or 5, and having that weekly goal. And if you want to, you can break it down into a daily sales goal. In my business, I don't have a daily sales goal because of how transactions work in coaching. It just makes more sense to have a weekly goal. But if you're an e-commerce brand or a digital product company, definitely a daily sales goal as well. But I'm just a fan of breaking things down. But even deeper than that, one of the points I'm going to cover with you is just like kind of doing like weekly analytics checks. And so when it comes to sales, you want to be able to have a weekly pulse check on your business. I do not like waiting until the 30th of the month to find out we did bad, we behind, or waiting until the end of the quarter to find out we're nowhere near the mark, or worse, it's the end of the year and you're just like, oh my gosh. So one of my coaches, she always says that she likes to hit her sales goal by August. She's like, I don't want to go into the 4th quarter of the year feeling like I gotta stress and struggle. I want that to be like carefree and fun and just extra, and I'm with that. I don't want to be caught by surprise. So by having a weekly sales goal, you now have something to measure yourself against. If you're just like happy to make a sale, then you're just happy to make a sale and you don't really have a pulse check on the health of your business. So you want to ensure that you're having a weekly sales goal, and that when you hit or surpass that goal, you are spending time figuring out what happened. Like, what worked so well? Did you get pressed that week? Did you run a sale that week? Were you super active on social? Were you doing more lives? Like, that's how you figure out your marketing best practices and what works for you. I talk about this a lot on live stream about how you need a sales system and a marketing system in your business. And while I believe and heavily encourage experimentation in your marketing should not be an experiment 100% of the time. There should be tried and true, proven things that you know will make money if you need to make money. So my question to you is, if you needed to go out and make $2,000 today, do you know how to do that? Do you have a guaranteed method that's going to bring you those sales? If the answer is no, this is why this type of healthy habit is important, because you can start to see if you hit the goal, what's working, let's keep doing that. And if you didn't hit the goal, let's analyze it and figure out what was going on. Was it the timing? Was it the content? X, Y, and Z, okay? So the second healthy habit I want you to have goes hand in hand with number 1, which is reviewing your analytics and metrics on a weekly basis. Not monthly, not annually, weekly. Now, when I say analytics, don't freak out and think that I mean every single data point ever. You need to figure out your KPIs. KPIs stands for Key Performance Indicators. KPIs are different for every business. KPIs are the things that make you money, right? So examples of KPIs could be, how many times did I live stream and how many viewers did I get, how many comments, how much engagement, what was the drop off rate, what was the average watch time, right? That's an example. Like, if I know I make money off of live streams, if I make money off of emails, how many emails did we send this week, X, Y, and Z. So for many of you, it's going to be a combination of things, right? So this is, again, why tracking your weekly sales is going to be important, because then you can analyze. If you're like, I'm not sure what my KPIs are, what I would want you to review at the end of the week is whatever marketing activity you did that week, that caused you to either hit the goal or not hit the goal, I want you to analyze it. So if you posted on Instagram every day, I want you to look at those analytics. If you went live every day, look at those analytics. If you sent 2 emails out, look at those analytics. If you were heavily pushing your website in your social media posts you did on Instagram, I need you to check your website data, check your Google Analytics. If you ran paid ads this week, I need you to check that, right? So in the beginning, when you don't know, you're just checking a little bit of everything, right? You're building your own little spreadsheets. If you're in my program, the Founder Circle, I give you my analytics dashboard tracker spreadsheet, but if you're not, you can just build your own. But outside of that, we have in my business the analytics dashboard, which is our monthly view of like everything that's going on. But then I actually built a weekly scorecard that's kind of like how I evaluate my job performance. Like I need something to evaluate how I'm performing. So I pulled the most important data points, and I gave this to my clients in the Founder Circle as well. But I look at social posts, live streams, emails, and a couple other things as like my pulse check on how things are progressing in the business. I know data for a lot of us is not fun. For me, it's not fun. Like I don't like numbers and data. If you love numbers and data, girl, I wish I could. I don't love it, but I have to look at it and I have to understand it if I'm serious about continuing to see growth in my business, okay? The third healthy habit I need you to develop in your business in 2021 is having dedicated CEO time on your calendar and honoring it. And depending upon your business, it might be best to have this first thing in the morning, and the cadence is up to you. Everybody needs a different cadence of CEO time, and for some people you have to kind of build up into it because a lot of us are used to being like kind of on call, just kind of responding and putting out fires and then dealing with whatever comes up. So if you're like, I don't really know where to start with that, maybe just pick a Friday morning. If Fridays aren't too bad for you, or if Fridays are like your worst, pick a day where the morning isn't too rough and just put an hour, set an appointment with yourself, recurring every week, called CEO time. My CEO time is Fridays from 9 to 11. And CEO time is when you're kind of doing the things that are like the 10,000 foot view. That's where you're looking at the vision, you're looking at the strategic direction of your company. If you've read the book Traction, which I'll link in the comments, they talk about having a vision traction organizer, and they have a free worksheet that maps that out, but the book tells you how to use it. So you might be looking at your vision traction organizer. You might be thinking about your team, hiring, operations, growth strategy. It's like you're thinking and doing, really thinking, but you might be mapping stuff out, journaling, writing, right? It's not really, CEO time isn't really like, okay, this means I'm doing this project. It's not really in the business. So in CEO time, you shouldn't be working in Canva. You shouldn't be making graphics. You shouldn't be sending emails, right? You shouldn't be doing that. You should be, it might, honestly, for a lot of you, it might just be you having this dedicated time to think. But worst case, just kind of sit with your journal and just kind of think about the future of your business. Think about what's currently broken in your business, what needs to be more efficient, where are you missing out on opportunities, and just kind of letting your brain flow unapologetically, not really worrying about constraining yourself, because you're going to come up with a lot of great ideas. So healthy habit, dedicated CEO time, and call it whatever you want. Okay, I call mine CEO time. You can call yours whatever you want. The fourth thing I need you to do, fourth healthy habit, is I need you to start dedicating at least 1 hour a week for professional development. Now, I'm saying 1 hour a week. Many of you probably already do more than that, but whenever we're starting something new and we're trying to make a habit, I think if we start off too or overzealous, we're not gonna stick to it. So we gotta make it easy. So 1 hour a week for professional development. Professional development can be whatever you define as that. That could be a podcast, listening to podcasts. That could be reading a book. That could be dusting off them courses you bought, right? I actually just made a list of a couple courses I really want to get through over the next couple of days while I'm still on vacay. So I wrote them in my planner, but having at least 1 hour where you're feeding yourself, you're feeding your brain, and it's good information around whatever you want it to be. But a dedicated professional development hour. If you're in a coaching program, then that could be the time that you're watching replays of calls, you're watching trainings in your portals, you're doing your homework, things like that. But you need to have dedicated development time. Even though we're running our businesses and we're pouring into other people and we're doing all of these things, we need to make sure that we're feeding ourselves and we're staying sharp. For some of you, that could be reading Forbes and Fast Company. I actually just got a subscription to Harvard Business Review because I really enjoy their business articles. But if you've read them, you know you got to carve out some time. They're not short, right? These are long articles, right? So having dedicated professional development time, and if you have the time to budget more hours towards it, feel free. But if you know that this is going to be a challenge for you, then just start off with 1 hour. The fifth habit that I want you to have is getting into the habit of always having a coach. And this doesn't have to be a business coach, though of course, y'all know I'm gonna recommend having a business coach. And if you want to become a coach in any industry, consider the Founder Circle, because that's where I train you on how to be a coach, coaching methods, coaching methodology, how to create your offer and how to sell it. The link to the Founder Circle will be down in the description box if you want to apply. But now, outside of just having a business coach, it could be having a finance coach, having a life coach, a spiritual coach, a mindset coach, whatever kind of coach. I currently have a couple coaches. I currently have four. I have 4 coaches. 3 are business, 1 is a life coach. But my 3 business coaches, they are all in different areas of business. There's very little overlap there. So just so you know, I'm not just telling you have a coach because I have a coaching program. I'm saying have a coach because I have coaches, okay? And having a coach has helped me to grow like crazy, both from a human perspective, a spiritual perspective, just my capacity to see and envision and just honestly just see crazy results in my life and in my business. And the big thing with coaching that I find so intriguing is that coaches just really inspire you to think bigger. If you hire the right coach, they often see more in you than you do see in yourself, which is why my clients always joke and say, like, I already know you're gonna tell me to raise my rates. Glad you know, right? Like, are you gonna tell me to do this? Yeah, because I know you're playing small, and part of my job is to push you out of that comfort zone, right? Like, granted, as a business coach, I teach a ton of strategy, but the biggest challenge that I face as a coach is how do I get my clients to envision more for themselves and to get out of their own ways, to get into a growth mindset. So we incorporate a lot of that into our program. But having a coach for me has really helped me get out of that limited thinking that I used to have when I was in my younger 20s and didn't really know, into now having a growth mindset and just seeing the world differently. So I would just encourage you, always have a coach. It don't got to be the same coach, okay? If you're in a 6-month program and you wrap up and you're good and you don't need any more from that, then go to the next level, right? Or if the coach that you really love has multiple tiers, do what you need to do, but like always have like an advisory board or a sound board, whatever you want to call it, somebody that you can go to, or I would even say a group, because honestly, right now I'm in all group programs, and my favorite part outside of just that coach is really the group, where I have a safe space. Facebook groups. I'm in a couple of text groups with people from my group coaching programs or programs that I'm in, where if I'm running into an issue, I can text and say, how do you all handle this? Does anybody have a copy of an SOP I can buy? Or like, being able to have a place to go versus always having to just fall on your shoulders and your back. So always have a coach, y'all. I'm telling you, it'll be a game changer. So just 2 more. Number 6, healthy habit. This one is an easy one. Clean out your inbox at the end of the week. When you get ready to log out on Friday, clean out the inbox. Reply to the emails that need to be replied to. Unsubscribe what you need to unsubscribe from. Delete what doesn't matter. But try to leave your inbox at 0. Now, I know when you come back, okay, it's going to be a lot of stuff from the weekend, but it'll just make you feel good to know that you're starting a week off without any unfinished business. So you just want to wrap all of that stuff up. The last one, this one I was trying to figure out, like, where did this one make the most sense to go? And I'm like, I'll just put it at the end, because it's kind of like there's an explanation that you need for this one. So the 7th one is have an SOP or double check, whichever makes the most sense. So having an SOP just means a standard operating procedure that you are basically documenting how to do something so that somebody else can do it. But if you're not at that point yet, just this is your task. Start to double check, triple check your contracts and your transaction records. So let's start with the contracts. So if you are a coach or consultant, you are operating from contracts, right? And depending upon your contract system, you might not always be notified if something wasn't filled out correctly or something wasn't signed. And so, for example, I use Dubsado, and so I have to manually log in to see if a contract was viewed and not signed or what's still outstanding. And then I can set up a workflow, I believe, to like follow up on that. But that's something that I learned the hard way years ago. You don't want to start delivering services without a completely signed contract. So just get into the habit. If you have a system that won't notify you that a contract is outstanding, just make it a habit, recurring, weekly, whatever, to log in and double check. The second thing is your transactions. So your business bank account transactions and whatever merchant services you do. So I use Stripe, and I noticed with Stripe, they'll notify the customer if their payment fails, but they won't notify me. So for my coaching services, I use a software called ThriveCart, which is a checkout system. It's very comparable to SamCart, things like that. So they'll notify me. And I noticed that with Stripe, they wouldn't. So when I was using something else, like I wouldn't get notified. And with Stripe, they'll send an email and they'll have a little button that says update payment records, but then it just takes them to like our website versus actually an actual page where they can update their card. So I always get these emails from people like, how do I update my payment methods with you? And it was such a manual process. And it's something that honestly I could have been avoided if I was notified as well that their payment method fails. I could give them instructions on what to do with us to update things, which is this is a long explanation, but when you're just starting out, you might not have the fanciest of softwares like a ThriveCart or something else that's gonna send you all of these different alerts, even though it should be common knowledge, but whatever, I still like Stripe. So what I want you to start doing is just get into the habit of looking at your transaction records, because in your Stripe portal, you will see transactions that failed or didn't go through, things that declined, things that were canceled, just so you can kind of know what's going on with people. And then your own business banking, because I had an issue this year with a fraud transaction. And normally my bank is really good with texting me when I'm trying to buy something like, is this fraud? But when fraud actually happened, my accountant actually caught it and we were able to get it back through the bank. But again, like I was never that person. I've never been a big finance person. I know I should be, but I was never the person that just heavily reviewed bank statements and all of that stuff. And to be honest with you now, I still don't. I have an accountant who does this for me. But if you do not have an accountant who does this for you, then you want to just get into the habit of doing this yourself as a healthy habit, just to make sure that while you out here marketing and making this money, you are secured and protected. So those are the 7 healthy habits that I want you to start developing in 2021. Let me know in the comments which of these habits you are planning to adopt, and if you are adopting any other healthy habits in your business so that you can share with our community here on YouTube. So with that, thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye.